there's been this horrible poisoning of how we perceive video game roles and what people do, coming from games that have no gameplay, like MOBAs, MMOs, hero shooters like Overwatch, where the definition of stuff is like extremely tight and limited. Like, oh, this guy is the tank, he takes the aggro. Oh, this guy is the DPS, he plays the game. Oh, this guy's the healer, he shoves a pool noodle up somebody's ass for 30 minutes and then gets XP out of that, whatever. And there's a really big problem when you apply that to a video game like Darktide, which actually has gameplay, which is that if you decide to focus on like one specific thing and like you think, okay, this is my role, you're useless. You're a fucking retard. And there's a very, very, very toxic subset of the community that I suspect is much bigger than we may suspect, that wants these sort of hard-coded roles of like somebody has like one purpose. Like this kind of shit is like retarded. People are like, oh, I'm playing more of a support build. It's like, fuck off. You're not doing anything. What do you mean you're playing a support build?
And this applies to World War Z as well. Every single class except the Gunslinger and the Hellraisers are role-playing classes and they're bad for gameplay. The Medic is the worst class in this game because it pretends to be a good class, but it is not. It is actually a bad class, but because it pretends to be a good class, it is the worst class in this game. It is far better to be a bad person than to be a fake person, because when you are a bad person, everyone knows your intentions and it is much easier to get rid of you or to catch you or to arrest you or do whatever. But if you are actually a fake person doing something bad in the background and nobody can catch you, that is where you are the worst person, because that is what exactly the Medic does. It is worse than Vanguard, it is worse than Drone Master, because when people pick Drone Master and Vanguard, you know their intentions, you know that they are bad players, you know they are picking less skilled classes, or they could be just trolling, you know, like they could be just very highly skilled and they are just trolling. But again, like at the end of the day, if somebody is speaking Drone Master or Vanguard, their intentions are very clear. But if someone picks up a Medic, neither the intentions are clear nor their actions, because you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know if they are going to support or not, and this is the problem. This is the problem of being a fake person and showing everyone that you are good but actually you are not. So that it is much harder to unveil and unravel the truth behind the hidden mask. And all the Medic class does in this game is just reviving, stimming and healing. That is all the Medic does and gets rewarded for it. It does nothing to the good players in this game who do not get damage. It does nothing to the good players in this game who kill everything and do all the work in the game. It doesn't help those players at all. It is only helpful to the bad players. It is only helpful to itself and nobody else. The good players do not get benefited from the Medic, and this is why this is a badly designed class. Now, in real life, why do you need a doctor? Why do you need a Medic? Because real life is unpredictable. You could fall sick tomorrow. You could fall sick, I don't know, like you can't predict when you are going to fall sick, or if you are going to have some kind of issues with your body. Like you can't predict that. It's way complicated. This is why in real life you need a doctor, you need a Medic. But in a game where everything is scripted, in a game like this where every single zombie and their patterns are so scripted and every single spawn is scripted in this game, even if it pretends to be like randomized, it is actually not. When you have a lot of hours in this game, you will realize that it is all scripted. And when you know every single thing and how it's going to behave, it's just a matter of knowing the patterns and being good at knowing the patterns and finding a counter to that. That is what good players do. And this is why you do not need a Medic or a doctor in a game for the redundancy, or if something bad could happen, or for the unpredictable stuff that could happen. You do not need that because it is a game. It is very much scripted. And the other thing is that I'm not going to talk about masking effects because I already talked a lot about masking effect. The basic problem with masking which this class has is just sending enemies, and even if you do not hurt other teammates, sending enemies is anyway bad, because you should rather be fighting the enemies than just ignoring and hiding from them. That is being a coward. Like, you do not want to be a coward, and you do not want to be hiding in a game which is like combat based, and it is more about killing enemies rather than hiding. If you want to hide and stealth, there are other games, like, I don't know, there are many other zombie games, but this game is not for that. This is why the medic is like pretty much useless class. Not only it is useless, but it is like, it pretends to be good, but it is actually useless, which is why it is the worst, because you are actually a bad person just hiding behind a mask of a good person, which makes it much harder for everyone to understand that you are a bad person. So let's get into the perks and the details. So all these perks, like you can see, like stim pistol are just stimming, and again, every time you see these stim icons, they are just about stimming and healing. And if you play on higher difficulties, like if you play on extreme and with mutators where you die with 3 or 2 hits, talking about PC players, not about console players. Console players never play on extreme because they don't really die with 2 to 3 hits, and when you don't die with 2 to 3 hits, you are not playing on extreme. So I'm not talking about console players here at all. I've never have. So if you die with 2 to 3 hits, those teams are really useless because those teams get evaporated in couple of seconds. They don't really benefit at all, and that extra health is just kind of redundant when you actually have health boost from other classes as well. So that extra health doesn't really affect. So all of these perks you see like stimming are just meaningless. They are not useful at all. These perks are again for medkits. I mean, you do not actually need to have medkit kind of perks because one can just heal themselves. Like, it doesn't take that much amount of time. And this column is just reviving. Like, reviving is again just for bad players. Like, if you are a good player, you wouldn't need reviving at all. This is again all stimming. This is again useless column. Then this is like SMGs. SMGs are not really great weapons because they have a lot of spray. They do not have accuracy. You will just be spraying and praying, which is not good for gameplay. Good gameplay is where your shots land where you point at. That is why you know that where you point at, you are getting a shot hit and a headshot. That is a good gameplay, not spraying and praying with an SMG. That is why this is not a good perk and not a good way to play. The rest of these perks are just healing and extra health and revive and getting in cap. Like, these are not good perks at all. This column again is like just medkits. Why do you even need medkits when you are a good player? Like, I go a lot of runs on extreme difficulty where I don't get hit at all. Like, I don't need medkits, and even if I need medkit, maybe one. Like, you do not need so many, and the game already gives so many medkits. Like, why do you need like so many medkits and all of these perks? Like, they are literally all useless. This is again Stim regeneration, and I don't know, like, this is kind of not really useful when other classes are meant to kill, so you are not killing at all, and it is not really helpful to regenerate stims when the stims are not useful at all because you just die in 2 or 3 hits. That's how fast you die on extreme, and that's how fast you should be, not like console players dying with 5-7 hits. That's ridiculous. So again, this is one of the good perks of the medic class where you can revive teammates from farther distance, and this is kind of good. However, it again relies on someone going down, so again it's just like situational, but it is not that bad, you know. It's neutral. These all are again useless. What else do we have? I think this is one of the really good perks of medic, fighting fit. Firearm damage increased by 25% where whole team have more than 50% of. This is one of the good perks because it forces people to have more health. For it actually is rewarding for people having more health so that they get more damage and do more killing, you know. This is kind of good. Similarly, this is also a good perk, too slowly, because it gives you reload speed. Now I don't know if this gives reload speed to your teammates as well or just the medic. I don't know about that. If it gives to the teammates, then it's good. If it's only giving to the medic, then it's bad. Ideally it should be giving more reload speed, more than 10% to your teammates, because that's how a good medic and a good medic design should be, that it actually buffs the team with reload speed or ammo or whatever rather than health. Like you actually rather want reload speed and damage or more ammo than healing and streaming. Like that is all useless. Again, masking effect, I've talked a lot about this. It is just bad. Like even if you don't hurt your teammates, it's just bad because you're just hiding from the enemies. Like why do that? Are you a coward? Like you have to fight enemies, not hide from them. If you are a good player, you would never need masking at all in the game. You never need stealth because you are actually good at predicting enemy patterns and avoiding any enemy hits. Like you do not need to escape. And this is again all the bad SMG perks and ammo. Like these are perks which are actually helping only when the player health is below 35%, which are not really useful because ideally you should be having more health and having less health. It can't be controlled properly. Again, SMGs are not really good and whatever. Like I don't know why SMGs, like you do not need to have SMGs in this game because SMGs do not have accuracy, and when you shoot one bullet, you will not know where it's going to land. So you are just going to spray more bullets and hope that one of those bullets are going to land a headshot, and then you be happy because you know it's landed a headshot and it requires no skill because all you did was spraying more bullets and mag dumping. That is not how a good gameplay should look like. So ultimately, that's about it, and this is why the medic class is the worst. It is worse than Vanguard and Drone Master because it pretends to be a good class, but if you look at all the perks, all it does is just helping the bad players and not helping the good players. If you look at games like Killing Floor 2, where it also has a medic class, and see the perks of the field medic in Killing Floor 2, you will see that it is actually buffing the good players, not just bad players. This is why the medic is the worst class in this game, worse than Vanguard, because the intentions are hidden. And when your intentions are hidden, when you are hiding behind a fake mask, you are actually worse than being a bad person. That's about it.